Hello, it is Carla Italiano coming to you live from Savannah, Georgia. Today is day 88 of our 90-day social media run, and we're talking about knowing the numbers, knowing your numbers, tracking your numbers. And Fraser shared actually the numbers of our class together and the importance of tracking them. If you remember, if you've been following along the whole time, you might remember at the beginning we have these weekly tracking sheets, and I've actually kept up with them pretty well. And we're supposed to track the number of content on our feed, how many we grew our list by, how many we asked the question, how many follow-ups we did, how many new customer orders and new distributors that we enrolled. So as a class, as a group, he shared these numbers. First of all, of the entire group, only 15% filled out the forms regularly. And so he included in his numbers ones that had completed, I think, at least 10 out of the 13 weeks or 12 weeks. Actually, the numbers are after 12 because he gave this during the 13th week. So the average number of new leads that people in the class brought in was 746. That is phenomenal. I'll share with you my numbers in a minute. That's how many people they grew their list. The highest individual was, no, I don't have that number. But anyway, it was a lot more than that, obviously. So the average number of leads per person was 746 per person who submitted their results. The average number of asked the questions that people did, the number of new people that they asked the question to look at their opportunity, was 558. So if you break these down, this is about 8 new leads a day on average and 6 new leads a day, right? This is over a 90-day span, right? So the asking the question to grow a team member then is 145 to 1. He said that's probably not accurate, but that's one of the worst that he's seen. All right, the hardest it seems. Like you have to ask 145 people to get one, and then ask the question to customers 16 to 1. So my personal numbers were actually a little bit better than that, but as a class, that's what we had. The average number of customers enrolled per student was 35, and mine was kind of right in that range among the 90-day span. The highest individual was 665. That is impressive. The average number of team members enrolled per class member who had submitted their results was 4 throughout the time span, and the highest individual was 25. So that is really cool. So based on our class numbers, it is 9 times easier to get a customer than a team member, which is totally fine because a lot of team members, myself included, started as customers, and then they decide to go into building later on. So the main reason we want to track is because if you want a result, you need to know how to get there. So once you have your numbers, you can figure out the action it needs to take. So if it takes, if it takes you, 16 reaches to find one new customer, and you want 10 new customers, then you have to multiply 16 by 10. So you got to talk to 160 people to find one customer, right? And that's just the thing. Like we have to be willing to take the activity that's in alignment with the results that we want. So we have to make sure if we have high expectations of results, then we have to be willing to put in the high level of activity that it takes. And having these numbers gives us at least a general idea of how to do that. And the great thing is, the more that you do it over time, the better your skills get. So that way you get excited. And that's what the goal is, to be excited about the opportunity and the activity, because it can get old after a while, because success really comes from the mundane, the in and out behind the scenes, right? That's what I know. And being consistent, even when you don't feel like it, is key. But how much better is it if we can be sincerely excited about the activity, because we know it is bringing about the result that we want, all right? So be obsessed with the activity and to grow our skills in the meantime. So my numbers, just if you're curious, during the 90-day run, the number of new the number that I grew my list by, so new people that I didn't know before that I grew my list by, was 177, which I'm really excited about, because I'll be honest, after doing this for a long time, often the ways I get stuck is like, who am I going to talk to next? How am I going to find new people? I have to get out and go to networking events, which that is great, but it's tiring if that's the only way that you're depending to generate leads. But 177 people I connected with over the last 3 months that I didn't know before. to me, that's really exciting, right? Ask the question. I asked the question to new people 81 times. So ask the question, remember, is inviting people to take a look at your product or opportunity who never asked before. If you've asked them before, then it's a follow-up. But if you haven't asked them before, then it's new. So I had 81 new asks during this time period, which is exciting. I enrolled 30 new customers and 5 new team members. So, I mean, that's exciting. Like based on the number of asked the question to customers. Now, not all of my customers came from those asks. Some of my customers came from work that I'd done before and other sources. But that's kind of, I find how this business works and how the universe works, if you will. A lot of times when you put the activity in and you take the intention, you put the activity in, we get surprises, right? Like even today, I got a message in from somebody I hadn't reached out to for a while, but she's a previous member of our team, a previous customer. And she was like, I'm ready. I need to do this again. What do I need to do? Right? So that kind of stuff, those gifts come in while we are taking the activity. So that's what I found from this. So the dare for today is to track these numbers, and even bigger picture just in our lives. Something that Fraser challenged us to do is to track numbers in these 3 areas of your life ongoing. First is business. And that's what we just covered. And it's not just the numbers for our team, like how big is your team growing or how many people are coming in or how many rank advancements. It's tracking your own business numbers, which is super important. Okay, so track your business numbers, track your social media numbers. You might remember also at the beginning, he had us write down all of our posts. I started out strong. I kind of lost that after a while. But in general, the goal is to get an idea of what type of posts at what time of day on what platforms give you the most visibility, right? So always have an idea of that and try to go for it as much as possible. Of course, in the end, consistency and just like once a day is the most important. So sometimes it's getting towards the end of the day and I'm like, I haven't posted yet. I need to post. So it might not be the ideal time, but I'm still committed to being consistent. So I'll still get a post up. Whereas I know if I post, a question and I post it in the morning on a Wednesday, I made that up. I don't really know if that's true. Then I might not. Then I'm ideally I do it then, but I'm not going to wait till then if I'm committed to being consistent. I just want to go for it. Okay. And then the third area, is finances in general in life and your lifestyle. Track your money, have a budget, know where it's at, know where your investments are, know where it's going. And I've been guilty of this in the past, especially in times when like my business has been momentum and everything's flowing and it feels so abundant. In those times, I've actually been worse about tracking, but I've gotten so much better. I'm tracking everything in my business now. And also honestly, this is kind of a newer goal. Like this year, my New Year's resolution was to track even our personal budgeting even closer, which I've been doing. And it's true. He says, when you know more where it's going, you have more clarity. You're able to achieve your goals, have more clarity about what you can do. And it's motivating. It's motivating to generate more income in your business when you know exactly where it's going to go to and how much you're at and how much you want to go on before. So happy day 88. We are about there on these 90 days. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Feel free to share this video and any of our 90-day run with anyone building online, especially in network marketing. We'll see you for the next one.